Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is November 12, 2023, and we are getting into the volume 176 of me answering your immigration related questions. As you can see, I have all of them pulled up in front of me. As always, before beginning this video, I'm going to mention, as I mentioned in every video, I'm not an immigration attorney. This is not legal advice. All the information provided in these videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS and of course the Department of State with their visa bulletin. So let's start with the very first question comment from Elioris 3316. Hi, I am a US citizen. I applied for my sister and brother, Haiti, since April 2010. When can I expect a call for interview? And my sister now have 2 children. How do I add her children to this petition? Thank you. Elioris, thank you very much for the question. So that's great questions. So, you're a US citizen, you applied for your siblings, for your sister, for your brother, so they are in F4, Forced Family Preference category. So, let's take a look at the visa bulletin and see how long we got the backlog. So they're from Haiti, so that means they're in all chargeability area. So we're gonna look at all chargeability area on the graph A, because we want to see the length of the backlog in general, the whole length. So right now, if we look at the graph A, it's showing April 2007, which means that people with priority date in April 2007, as of right now, December 2023, their immigrant visas are becoming available, their priority dates becoming current. So your siblings are in April 2010, which means that roughly they are 3 years away from the availability of the immigrant visa, from their priority dates becoming current, which is, getting there. It's still a long time. Plus, with the visa bulletin, it's, unfortunately, it's very hard to predict with it because sometimes it does not move. Like, for example, from November to December, it did not move at all. All right. Sometimes it moves good. Sometimes it doesn't move good. It retrogresses. So it's really hard to tell, but definitely important for you to stay on top of it. Keep checking the visa bulletin. I'm assuming since they are in April 2010 priority dates, I'm assuming that they are not documentarily qualified yet, because if we look at the graph B, that shows when the NVC portals are actually opening up for documentary qualification for people, it's showing that right now, as of December 2023, people with priorities in March 2008 have their NVC portals open for them. So I'm thinking your brother and sister, they did not have their NVCs open yet. So if that's the case, then I think it's time to start getting ready for documentary qualification. I do have a video on this channel that shows everything that documentary qualification process involves. So the more prepared you are, the better, the faster you can take care of it. And then to answer your second question regarding your sister adding her children, you can reach out to NVC. I would recommend submitting a public inquiry form. But even if you don't do that, during the documentary qualification process, that's really one of the main points of documentary qualification process, is to kind of gather everything, all of the updates, and make the case more current after it was reviewed by USCIS, because there is a really long period of time in most of the cases. In one of the 4, it doesn't really matter which family preference categories we're talking about. Obviously F4 would be the longest one, with the longest delay in between, and so during the documentary qualification process, she will be asked all that information. There will be DS-260 where she will enter all her information and where she will add her children, and there will be place in the NVC portal where she will be able to upload the birth certificates of her children, showing that they will be traveling with her. So yeah, I would recommend submitting a public inquiry with the NVC. I'm gonna show you how to do that. You can find it through the Department of State website, travel.state.gov, this website right here. You can find this particular page for the visa bulletin in the description of this video. So from this page, all we're gonna do is we're gonna click on Contact Us right here at the top. I'm gonna open it in a new tab, and then from here we're gonna go to US Visas Contacts. And sorry I'm going fast, but I'm gonna post the link in the in my response. And then you see here online immigrant visa inquiries, public inquiry form. And then in this public inquiry form, you type in the NVC case number. If you don't have it, then USCIS receipt number should be fine. Principal applicant's full name will be beneficiary's full name. Date of birth, principals, again, principal applicant is a beneficiary. Petitioner's full name, who are you, beneficiary, petitioner, the email address, and then in the inquiry you can type up the cover letter, and then in the attachments you can attach the birth certificates. But again, even if you don't do that, she will have to do it during her documentary qualification process anyway, so she will be attaching all that information regardless. But it's good to keep them updated, obviously, as you go. Okay, so posted that. Let's move on to the next one from Med Luca. Hello, sir. I have a question. I have 100 days and don't receive my green card. DV lottery. Son, I sent a request. Did not receive a card, and USCIS replied to wait a month to answer, and now I'm back to my country emergency, so please can help me what to do. Thank you. Okay, Medluca, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. So with the DV lottery, on this channel I answer more questions with the family immigration. Personally, I've dealt with a few cases through work whenever I was working for an attorney office, but by myself, in a personal experience, I never dealt with the DV lottery. So it's a little bit more of a gray area for me, but I would definitely recommend reaching out to the U.S. Embassy. Whenever it comes to issues like this, for permanent residents, U.S. citizens, if you're outside and something was a document, you didn't receive it, whether it's a travel document, whether it's a permanent resident card, passport, your number one contact outside of the United States would be the U.S. Embassy in the country where you are. And you can find the embassy information on usembassy.gov. I'm going to paste that website depending which country you're from. Call them up. Whatever, let's say for example you're from Austria, right? You click on Austria on this list of all the countries. There you go, U.S. Embassy in Austria. Just give them a call. Depending which country you're from, find the U.S. Embassy there, call them, say, hey, I went to the United States as a DV lottery winner, but I did not get my card on time. Most likely it's not going to be a problem, because when you go through the U.S. Embassy, once they do give you the approval to go, they give you a temporary permanent resident card anyway. In most of the cases, the I-551 stamp, with which you can travel back and forth without any problems anyway. But just to be on the safe side, because again for me it's a gray area, the DV lottery, contact U.S. Embassy. Hopefully that's what they will tell you, like you good, you can fly around, you have the I-551 in your passport, which if you do, that is a temporary permanent resident card with which you can travel back and forth without any problems. And as far as your physical card, usually it does take faster than what it is taking for you. I'm not sure why it's taking so long, but really the physical card is just a confirmation of your status, which already is reflecting in your passport. But again, to be on the safe side, reach out to the U.S. Embassy just to double check that information. Okay, so I'm gonna post the link for the list of all the U.S. embassies, and we're gonna move on to the next question from Osikwe Rachel. After getting documentary qualified, how long will it take to get an interview letter? IR1 precisely. Osikwe Rachel, thank you very much for your question. So IR1 is immediate relative category. That's definitely great news, because you're not dealing with a backlog. A lot of times, if you are one of the 4 family preference categories, F1, F2A, F2B, F3, F4, once you are documentarily qualified, you're still waiting for your immigrant visa to become current. So there's still a lot of waiting that is involved. And you can wait for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years, depending on which category you're in, all right? The good news for immediate relative category is that you're not dealing with a backlog. Once the I-130 is approved by USCIS, your immigrant visa is already available, which is fantastic news. So With that being said, after becoming documentarily qualified in immediate relative category, your case is transferred to U.S. Embassy for scheduling. Now, that's where a little bit of differences between how long you're going to wait come into play, because depending on which country you're from, depending on how busy the U.S. Embassy is in that country where you're from, that's the amount of time you will be waiting. Most of the times, it takes about 6 months. Personally, for me, it took 9 months. I've seen people waiting as long as 1.5 years, even 2 years. I've seen one case, somebody commented that they were waiting 2 years, and they were from Islamabad, from Pakistan. They were from Pakistan, so their embassy is in Islamabad, which is apparently is extremely, like, they are. I'm not sure if it's their availability, staff availability, or if it's just the amount of people going through, for the interviews, non-immigrant, immigrant. I'm not sure what the complication is, what the delay is, right? But that's how it is. That's how it is. Good news is that we kind of go from bad news to good news. The good news is that most likely, if you are in immediate relative category and you have been documentarily qualified for some time now, most likely your interview has already been scheduled. You just don't know it yet because U.S. Embassy, they cannot announce the interview date earlier than 30 days before the actual interview date. Sometimes, very rarely, it is 60 days, but most of the times it's 30 days because they have to give you 30 days to do your medical examination before the actual interview. So, let's say, for example, if your interview has been scheduled for January 1st, 2024, you're not going to find out until around December 1st, 2023, okay? What you can do, if you have been waiting for a while, you can reach out to the U.S. Embassy in your country and say, hey, I'm in the immediate relative category. I have been documentarily qualified. I have been waiting for 6 months, a year, and I still don't have my interview date. If you can, please look into the scheduling system and let me know when the interview was scheduled for. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. It's hit or miss, but it is worth a try. So I'm going to post a link again for all the U.S. embassies here, so that you can find yours and give them a call. And if you can, come back please to this channel and post a comment, separate comment. Don't respond to my comment within your comment. Post it anywhere on this channel under any video, and let me know if that worked, because it's good for other people also to see that these things, whether they work or don't work, it's helpful. It's definitely helpful. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Aileen Quinos. Hope you are in good shape, sir. Aileen, thank you very much. Appreciate that. My daughter applied I-130 and we are already documentarily qualified. Me and my husband. Our priority date is June 4, 2023. Okay, so very recent. How long do we have to wait our interview appointment? Thanks so much, sir, from Philippines. Aileen, looks like your case is moving awesome. Okay, so your daughter is a US citizen, so she petitioned for you. You guys are the parents, which means you are in immediate relative category. That's one of the reasons why your case is moving along very nicely. You just priority date in June 4 this year, and it's only been like 5 months and you're already documentarily qualified, which is fantastic, which means that your case has been already sent from the NVC to the US Embassy in Philippines to schedule the interview. For me personally, I petitioned for my parents and it took 9 months after they were documentarily qualified for them to get their interview date. 9 months, about 9 months. But again, depending on how busy the US Embassy is in Philippines, I think it's in Manila, if I'm not mistaken. I would assume it's pretty busy, so it might take a little bit longer. It's depending on how long ago you've been documentarily qualified, but your priority date is just now in June, so I would give it more time. I would assume you're documentarily qualified like just recently, probably like beginning of November, maybe mid-October. So I would give it at least to like maybe March. Give it like six months after becoming documentarily qualified. And if your interview is still not scheduled, reach out to the embassy and tell them, hey guys, documentarily qualified, immediate relative category. But like I said, personally for me it was 9 months. In most of these situations in immediate relative category, it seems like it's about 6 months to a year. But like I said, I've seen some people, taking 1.5 years, 2 years. So hopefully it doesn't take that long for you. I'm gonna post this right here, and I'm actually gonna, let's see, Philippines. I'm gonna give you their information just so that you have it. There we go. I think it is in Manila. Let's see if yeah, there you go. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this. Let's see, link, and paste this information right here. All right, and we're gonna move on to the next one from user. Sorry, sometimes YouTube does not show me the names; it shows the handle. So the user says, "Hi, I am documentarily qualified on October 30, 2023. Congratulations! Just recently, CR1 marriage base. When will an interview am in Jamaica?" Okay, so CR1 is conditional resident, which is immediate relative category, which is again fantastic news. You are documentarily qualified October 30. So again, the same exact thing. I don't know how busy the U.S. Embassy is in Jamaica. I think it's in Kingston, in Jamaica. Let's see if my geography is getting any better with this channel. At least let's see, Jamaica. Pretty sure it's Kingston. Let's find out. Yes, Kingston. Okay, so this is their contact information. Again, it's too early to call them or ask them, because give them at least 6 months, because most of the times that's how long it takes before they schedule your interview. But on the huge plus side, you are immediate relative category, so that's really it. The only thing you have left is medical examination and the interview. So I would start getting ready for both. For medical examination, and that goes for everyone, since that seems to be the theme of the questions for today. Most of the questions are about that. If you are waiting for your interview, I would recommend getting ready for medical examination as well. One thing that you can do big time that's going to help you for your medical examination is to obtain as much as possible of the vaccine records for yourself. Personally, I did not have that, but it was too late for me to obtain it. So I actually had to go and get all of these vaccines. But if you do have the record that shows all the vaccines that you got, a lot of the vaccines that you need to get during the medical examination, they can be basically waived, because they look into your record and they're like, okay, so you got this vaccine, so you're good. You don't need to get them again. So it definitely helps big time. And for me, I couldn't do it because, well, my records, they are back there and I was already here, and I couldn't go back and get all of that stuff. But for people, especially in whenever we're talking about family immigration, whenever we talk about family petitions, a lot of times the beneficiary is still there, so you can do a good job preparing. So let me post the response here. And regarding the interview itself, I do have the video on this channel. It's called I-130 Interview Questions. So if you are curious to know what approximately kind of questions will be during the interview, check out that video. It is uploaded to this channel. Okay, let's move on to the next question from, looks like a couple of questions from Parisa Ahmadi. I did fill out form on site online, but now I'm not able to copy or download it. Okay, Parisa, thank you very much for bringing this up. So yes, whenever you are filling out an online application, if we're talking about the online application, but let me double check, because you posted your comment on I-129. So let me make sure the I-129, you can even do it online, because I think you do have to download it, and I don't think it is available online. So I think what you're referring to is the actual PDF document. I think that's what you're referring to. So if this is what you're referring to and this is what you fill out, you should be able to save it. And you are able to save it by using the Adobe PDF save feature. Now, depending on whether you're using a Windows or Mac, the interface is going to be different. So I can say, oh, here, right here for me. But for me, this is the button. This is the button that I would use in order to save it. You would download the document. Now, let me double check something, because some of the forms before I actually seen that you're not able to save the information. So here, as you can see, it gives you the option. So you can actually save it. Yeah, you can actually save it with the changes. So as you can see, it shows you with your changes or without your changes. Some of the forms, maybe they're not updated and you are not able to save it with your changes because it's a protected document, but this one you definitely should be able to save it. All right. Now, to address your second question, hi, if we are filing for H-1B, there is no need to fill out H or E classification, right? Just keep and write not applicable. Okay, again, fantastic question. So, Form I-129. One of the interesting things about the Form I-129 is because there is so many classifications involved in non-immigrant worker category, you will find in the 129 there is additional supplemental application pages. So you have E1, E2, you have trade agreement supplement, you have H classification supplement, which if you are doing H, you definitely need to do H. And then there is also, there should be, I think, L and P, and there's H1B, L classification here, O classification. Okay, so the reason why I'm bringing this all up is because this is probably one of the only petitions that you will be dealing with where you don't need to go into each of these supplemental applications and type in the not applicable throughout the whole form. You don't need to do that. You are filling out the empty fields with not applicable in the petition, in the actual application that you are filling out, but the supplemental stuff, let's say for example, if the whole L, which in your case that's what it seems like, let's say for example the whole E is not applicable for you, right? You don't need to bother going through each of these and filling out the not applicable. This one you can leave completely blank because it is completely not applicable in relationship to the main I-129 petition. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have any follow-up questions, let me know. I'm gonna come back to that. But yes, you are correct. With the rest, just do what it needs to be done for your particular situation. Everything else, you don't even need to worry about going through and filling out not applicable. You don't need to worry about that. Okay, and hopefully you will be able to figure out how to actually save and download the form. Okay, so this is a wrong thing. Let me copy the correct thing. Post the response here, and we're gonna move on to the next question from Ibrahim Ali Yusuf. Ibrahim Ali Yusuf. Hello, sir. Visa class F24. So F24 priority date is 2014. Documentarily qualified. 07/10/2022. Consulate Nairobi, Kenya. How long will it take for me to get an interview letter? Thank you. Okay, so F24, we are looking at F2B category. F24 is the second family preference category. Unmarried son or daughter over 21 of a permanent resident. So we're looking at F2B, and let's see, you have your priority date in 1706. So that's June 2014. Let's take a look at the visa bulletin and see what's going on. For F2B, we got September 2015. As of right now, December 2023, and you are 06/2014. So 2015, 09/2015, and you are 06/2014. Okay, and you're Kenya, so you are all chargeability area. So your immigrant visa should already be available. It's been your priority date's been current already for some time right now. So I think your interview is really anywhere around the corner. I would definitely recommend reaching out to the US Embassy and letting them know, because your visa been current. Let me do some calculations. 06/2014 and in September 2015. So for over a year, your immigrant visa has been current. So definitely give them a call and let them know. Say, hey, I'm documentarily qualified. My immigrant visa has been available for over a year now. My priority date has been current. I wanted to see when my interview was scheduled for. Pretty sure your interview is already scheduled. You just don't know it yet because 30 days. But since you've been waiting for so long, I think it should be like somewhere around the corner. Might even be by the end of 2024. I'm thinking might even be even be by the end of 2024. So let me post the response here, and I'm gonna give you the link. So you are in Kenya. Let's find Kenya here. Let's see. I'm scrolling the wrong way. There you go, Kenya. And this is their US Embassy here in Nairobi. This is their phone number right here. Like I said, give them a call. Say, hey, Documentarily Qualified here. Been waiting for over a year now with the current priority date. Still no interview. Just curious. Again, for everyone, don't be upset if they say no, we can't give you that information. A lot of times, unfortunately, they do. It's just how it is. Just be polite, be professional. Say, okay, no problem at all. Thank you. But you try, you know. But in some situations it works, all right? In some situations you get somebody nice on the phone and they look into this. It's not an official interview date announcement. It's literally just them looking over the phone and giving you the date. You still don't have the official letter. You still don't have the, you know, the stuff that comes with the letter, all the important stuff that you need to bring into the interview. You don't have any of that, so it's unofficial. But it's good to know. It's peace of mind. You know, if you knew right now that your interview is scheduled for January 15, 2024, you would have been, you would have been just, you know, patiently waiting for January 15, 2024 and getting ready for it. It's much better to know if it's far out, but it's better to know than sitting and not knowing. So I hope, you know, there is a conversation that they will change it from 30 days to 6 months, which would be fantastic. Hopefully. We'll see. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Fata Moslast. Hey sir, does the foreign state of chargeability influence the allocation of visa interview date? Great question. I'm in the country visa cap. Yes. Does it influence how the F category interviews are scheduled at the embassies? I'm in F11 category, so F1. Priority date September 2014. Documentarily qualified August 2023. Embassy Senegal, Dakar. Okay. Great question. Thank you for asking. Yes, absolutely. Of course. It definitely does. And in fact, that's one of the reasons why some embassies in some countries, they take much faster to schedule the interview. And some, you know, here you'll be waiting for 6 months, and in another country you'll be waiting for 2 years for your interview to be scheduled. That's one of the reasons. And with these numbers, with what you're mentioning, the country visa cap, that's where the scheduling comes from, really. That's where, you know, depending on how busy the embassy is, depending on how much traffic go through the embassy, you have reflective the numbers, because the big number, I think it's like 224,000. I think you can find it on this website right here. There you go, 226,000. That is the big number. That is the national basically immigration cap that was implemented by Congress. All right, that's why we have the backlog in the first place. And that's the number that needs to be spread out throughout the whole world. So depending on how busy certain country is, they give it a certain amount of immigration visas to spread it equally throughout the rest of the world. Obviously, just looking at the numbers, you will see some countries getting more immigrant visas, some countries getting less immigrant visas. But again, that is the reflection of how busy, how much traffic goes through those embassies, how many people are filing the petitions. This is all kind of goes into the, you know, the process. Now, to look into your personal numbers, you are September 2014 F1, and you're from Senegal, Dakar. So we are looking Senegal, Dakar. Now let me double check something really quickly. I'm gonna Google Senegal, Dakar. So Senegal, Dakar. All right. So you are going to be in all chargeability area. Let me see. Let me find Senegal. I'm gonna give you the. There it is. Probably in Dakar. Yeah, there you go. So this is the U.S. Embassy. So you are going to be in all chargeability area. All right. And that's definitely good news, because China, India, Mexico, Philippines, the 4 separate chargeability areas, most of the times it's a longer way. Now, your F1, and right now for all chargeability, F1 is showing January 2015. You are September 2014. So you really are close. You are like 3-4 months away from the availability of your immigrant visa, from your priority date becoming current. Keep in mind that's still a rough estimate because sometimes visa bulletin doesn't move like we've seen from November to December. But still, you're 3-4 months away from your priority date becoming current if the visa bulletin keeps moving like it should. Hopefully it will. Keep checking it every single month on this channel. I make, once the new visa bulletin comes out, I make a video on it and post it on this channel. So if you're not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. But you really are close. And once your immigrant visa is available, the interview is scheduled. Yes, you will have to be waiting for the interview. Probably got another 6 months at least, I would say, for your interview to be scheduled and so far so forth. But what matters is you're getting really, really close. So thank you very much, everyone, for asking your questions. Hopefully my answers were helpful. If you have any follow-up questions, don't hesitate to ask them in the comments below. As always, I appreciate your time. God bless, and I'll see you all in the next video.